Welcome to America's Agent Training. We're glad you could join us today. We've got a very popular solution to share with you, LifeCrest Index. This is a solution you may want to consider for your clients that are looking for accumulation potential. Maybe you have clients that have income objectives down the road, or for your clients that are seeking permanent life insurance with that no-lapse guarantee. The great news is LifeCrest Index offers all three. So let's get started. I'm America's Sales and Marketing Trainer. My name is Stacy Gear. If you have any questions after today's training, feel free to reach out to your sales support team. We look forward to the opportunity to support your LifeCrest Index business. You can reach us at 800-231-0801. Now keep in mind, we've got this easy email address for you to utilize as well. If it's more convenient for you to send us a question or a request for an illustration, for example, you can utilize salessupport@americo.com. We can research and reply to you very quickly. Now you may be asking, why consider LifeCrest Index for your clients? This is a great solution, great timing as well for any of your clients that need permanent coverage. If they're considering whole life or universal life, no lapse UL, for example, we encourage you to take a look at LifeCrest Index because this is a solution that offers permanent insurance with guarantees. You can offer guaranteed lifetime coverage with that no-lapse guarantee as long as minimum premiums are paid as scheduled. And today we'll share with you examples of how you can offer this for your clients that need that guaranteed lifetime coverage. Now, another very popular feature with LifeCrest Index, this is where you can offer guaranteed return of premium feature. And this is important to many clients. They can receive guaranteed return of premium at age 65 or 20 years after policy issue, whichever is later, but no later than age 80. And this is where your client can request to surrender their policy and have 100% of their target premiums returned to them. And today we'll share with you examples how you can highlight that guaranteed return of premium feature where you can find the target date, for example, and their target premium. And for example, depending on the insured's age at policy issue, if the insured is age 18 to 45 at policy issue, they can access the guaranteed return of premium feature at their attained age 65. And then for those individuals that are age 46 to age 60 at policy issue, that's where those individuals can receive the guaranteed return of premium feature 20 years after policy issue. And then for individuals that are age 61 to 65 at policy issue, they can receive the guaranteed return of premium feature at their attained age 80. And all of this information will be noted in the illustration and some of the sales ideas that we'll share with you today as well. Now, today we'll also share another benefit that's been very popular is the guaranteed 5% income bonus. So many clients, they need that important life protection in their early years when they're younger. And then as their needs and their objectives change and as they near retirement, for example, if they choose one of the settlement options that LifeCrest Index offers and they take the settlement option over 10 years or more, this is where Americo will offer that 5% income bonus. And it's a guaranteed 5% income bonus when income is taken for a period of 10 years or more. So that's pretty exciting competitive advantage that you can offer your clients with this product. Now, the great news is America's designed LifeCrest Index is very simple. There's two accounts, and we'll cover the index account, how that works, and how interest is credited based on the performance of the S&P 500. And then the other account, which is called the declared account, this is where your client can allocate a portion of their premium up to 100% if desired to the declared account, which has a current interest rate and a guaranteed interest rate of 4%. This is why I encourage you to take a look at this solution for any of your clients that are considering permanent life insurance coverage, whether it be universal life, whole life. I think all of you would agree that having a 4% guarantee rate for that declared account is a very competitive advantage. Now, with the index account, let's cover what you need to know and how interest is credited. The index crediting is based on the S&P 500 point-to-point annual reset with a cap. And the cap is currently 9.25%. We'll cover all the details of the various interest rates in just a moment. The index date or the sweep date will always be December 31st for all policies. So premiums received through the second day prior to the sweep date earns interest based on the index date sweep date. It then rolls into the index interest account, and together with renewal amounts that just received index credits. And then premiums received the day prior to the sweep date or later will not be swept until the next sweep date or December 31st. So it's very simple. This is an opportunity for your clients to experience the upside potential without the downside risk. And then if your client decides that they want to allocate a portion of their premium to the declared account, they can allocate up to 100% to that declared account, which has a current interest rate of 4% and a guaranteed rate of 4% as well. And we've got some great example sales ideas to share with you. Now, some other features and benefits with LifeCrest Index. Many clients want to have access to their money if needed, and this provides peace of mind that they can access preferred policy loans or zero net cost loans are available, and non-preferred policy loans can be taken after the first policy year or whenever there's positive cash surrender value. The interest that's charged on a non-preferred policy loan is typically it's going to be 6% annual effective rate. And with a preferred policy loan, how that works is this is an opportunity for clients. They can access up to 15% of their cash surrender value can be taken, and it all depends on their age at the original policy issue date. So, for example, for individuals that are 55 and younger, they can access a preferred policy loan upon their 10th anniversary. And if the insured is age 56 to age 60 on the original policy date, they can access the preferred policy loan upon the insured's 65th birthday. For individuals that are 61 and older, they can access the preferred policy loan on the 5th policy anniversary. Now, all of these details, the full explanation can be found in the Comprehensive Agent Guide, and I'll share with you where you can access the Agent Guide for a full explanation and details if needed. Now, many agents like to open up the conversation with the living benefit rider that's built into the policy at no additional charge. That's the accelerated benefit payment rider. And this has been important. It provides important protection that many individuals need. And how that works is if the insured is diagnosed with a qualifying terminal illness with a life expectancy of 12 months or less, this is where they can access up to 50% of that guaranteed death benefit while they're still living. And they can use this money however they desire. And many of your clients, as you visit with them, they may share that they've had that experience where they've had a relative, a friend, a neighbor that's been in that situation. And typically what goes along with a terminal illness is increased medical costs and what a significant burden that can put on the individual and the family. And to be able to access up to 50% of that death benefit if they need to go to a special hospital in a different location, this goes a long way to give your clients peace of mind having that accelerated benefit payment rider. They feel like they have enhanced value with LifeCrest Index. You can quickly access the Comprehensive Agent Guide and many marketing tools at www.americolifecrestseries.com. This is one of my favorites because there's no user ID or password required. It's a valuable resource, especially if you're new to Americo. You can quickly access all of this information. So if I click on and actually bring up the live version, for example. I encourage you to take a look at the application packets and get familiar with the state-specific application packets. This may prompt some additional questions that we can help you with. When I click on Sales Tools, over here on the right-hand side, there's a link to the agent guide. When that important risk assessment question comes up, and then depending on your target market, many questions can be answered from the agent guide. So this is where you can quickly access from the microsite, and we have pre-approved advertising materials, client brochures to help you increase your opportunities with LifeCrest Index that can be quickly accessed from the microsite as well at www.americolifecrestseries.com. Now let's cover what you need to know, the product specifications, who would be your ideal client prospects. LifeCrest Index Universal Life, is a fully underwritten. We've made this easier at the point of sale. As you can see here, it's non-medical, available up to $250,000. Now the states where the product is currently not approved would be Alabama, Missouri, Mississippi, Nevada, New York, Pennsylvania, and Vermont. Issue ages. The great news is the minimum issue age is 18. And then for those individuals, if they've not used nicotine within 12 months prior to the application completion date, this would be non-nicotine up to age 65. If they have used nicotine products, 18 to age 60. The minimum face amount is $25,000 for standard risk class. So this offers agents the opportunity to customize the solution based on not only your client's needs, but also based on their budget. Low face amount, $25,000. Now, if you have those clients that are a little bit healthier than average, the great news is there's a preferred risk class. The minimum face amount for the preferred risk class would be $100,000. But this offers a solution for your clients that seek permanent no-lapse coverage where you can lock in that preferred risk class. And we'll share some examples today in just a slide or two. Now, you can offer your client to pay for their premium either annual, direct bill, or another popular option is monthly bank draft. A signed NAIC illustration is required. We do want to mention an NAIC illustration must be signed at the point of sale. Because a disclosure is included in the illustration output, a signed disclosure is required in all states with the exception of Florida, we just want to mention. And today we'll share with you how easy it is to run those illustrations or simply reach out to your sales support team. You can request an illustration after today's training as well. The premium classes to consider: preferred, non-nicotine, nicotine, or standard non-nicotine and standard nicotine. So many options to customize and tailor that coverage. Now let's cover what you need to know, how that interest is credited. The great news is America designed this product so it's easy for your clients to track and understand how that interest is credited, unlike other IUL products out on the market that can be very complicated, too complicated for your clients to understand. And so that just prevents challenges for you. And the great news is how the interest is credited is each policy has one indexed interest account and one sweep account and one declared interest rate account. So the indexed interest account, sweep account, and declared interest rate account. Now the portion of paid premiums that are allocated to the declared account interest go directly into the account and they begin earning interest at that declared interest rate. Current rate is 4%, as you can see here on the screen, and the guaranteed rate is 4%, very competitive in today's environment. Now, any portion of premiums that are paid and allocated to receive indexed interest credits, they would go directly into the sweep account. And the sweep account is also earning 4% and earns current interest until it's swept into the indexed interest account on December 31st. And this next slide that we look at will make I think it'll make it all clear for everyone. But the takeaway from this slide here is the current cap is 9.25% for the indexed account, and the guaranteed cap would be 4%. This is company declared. And another competitive advantage to take note of is the minimum rate for premiums allocated to the index account is 1%. So what that means is if the S&P 500 has unfavorable performance from one year to the next, any money allocated during that particular period will earn a guaranteed rate of 1%. Guaranteed, and the current rate is 1%. When you compare that to other products out on the market, many times it's 0 instead of 1%. So that's a competitive advantage that LifeCrest Index offers your clients. The illustrated rate, when you run an illustration for LifeCrest Index, currently that default rate is 6.5%. This is based on the historical look back and the history of the S&P 500. I think it's very conservative outlook. And let's take a look at how that interest is credited. And so, for example, 100% of the premium can go into this declared account, which is earning that 4% current and guaranteed rate. And how that would work is the current rate is credited on a monthly basis, then expense charges are deducted, and a portion of the premium up to 100% can be allocated to the index account. Now, the default rate when you run an illustration will allocate 50% to the declared account and 50% to the index account, just to keep in mind. And I'll share with you how you can make those changes if you want to allocate more to either one of the accounts. So any money that's allocated to the index account, it first goes into what's called the sweep account. The current interest rate is 4%. And then what happens is on December 31st, it's swept for all policies into the index account. The index account is earning 1% interest rate credited on a monthly basis. And then at the end of each calendar year, the index crediting rate is then determined based on the performance of the S&P 500. So this is a fixed index universal life product. It's not invested in the market. It depends on the performance of the S&P 500. So if we were to look at some examples of the S&P 500, the closing as of December 31st, 2016, for example, if you were to Google, you'd see that the closing was $2,238.83. And then to determine the interest that would be credited to LifeCrest Index account, we would, during this time period, we'd take a look at the closing December 31st, 2017. So in this particular year, it was pretty exciting to see that there is a 19.42% increase. So if you were invested in the market, you may have experienced the upside. That's the great news. Now, how interest is credited to LifeCrest Index is we would take that amount and we would subtract out the 1% that's already been credited to the index account. So the total would be 18.42%. It'd be wonderful if that was the amount that was credited to any premiums allocated during that time period. However, there is a cap, and the cap is 9.25%. And so in this example, any premiums allocated during this time period would be credited 9.25%, but that is what provides the accumulation opportunity, especially in a low interest rate environment. Now, the total credit for the entire year, when you consider that 1% has already been credited to money that's in the index account, the total is 10.25%. So this is what makes the solution so popular with many agents and their clients. If we look at the previous year, this is another year where there was an increase in the S&P 500 performance, favorable performance in in the S&P 500 from one year to the next. So in this example, we have 9.54 is the total credited for that particular year. The increase was 9.54%. We subtract out the 1% already credited. The premiums allocated during this particular time period would earn 8.54%. Very competitive interest rate crediting. And then the total for the entire year is 9.54%. So that should make it pretty clear how interest is credited to LifeCrest index. Now you may be asking, well, what happens if the S&P 500 has unfavorable performance from one year to the next? And that occurred December 31st, 2014. If you take a look at the close of the S&P 500 versus December 31st, 2015, there was a decrease. So if premiums were allocated to the index account during this particular time frame, the total credit for the year would be 1%. That's a competitive advantage because many other IUL products out on the market may have, have a zero floor versus 1%. So it provides the upside potential without that downside risk, as well as many other opportunities. Now here is an example, a historical, hypothetical look back of the S&P 500 from one year to the next, crediting rates, and what you would expect to earn with LifeCrest Index. So for example, many of us, depending on how old you are, can remember or recall 2007 to 2018. That particular year, the S&P 500 had a negative unfavorable performance, negative 38.49%. So if you were invested in the market during that period, you have experienced maybe the downside. That's why many clients today, many individuals are seeking those guarantees and protection. However, if you have premiums allocated to LifeCrest Index during that particular time period, you can expect the premiums would earn 1% and not experience that downside because this is a fixed universal life. It's not invested in the market. So this just gives you an idea of how the interest is credited over here on the right-hand side during favorable performance of the S&P 500, so 2013 to 2014, positive interest crediting. And this provides that accumulation potential. And then for clients that seek, maybe they have income objectives down the road, they need that important life protection, and then they also want to consider income objectives. That's another opportunity that LifeCrest Index provides. So let's look at some of those examples here. Now this first example that we want to share with you, this is example number one is for a male age 45. We're going to assume that he's a little bit healthier than average, preferred risk class, and his objective is to have that no lapse guarantee. And he's conservative. We want to allocate 100% of the premium into the declared account. The declared account has a guaranteed rate of 4%. When we solve for that premium, the premium is $119.17. And a few things to point out when you take a look at that illustration. Based on worst case scenario, you'll have the guaranteed values and the premiums paid in over a 20-year period in this example would be $28,601. Now, what you can point out is worst case scenario, values based on guaranteed elements. At age 65, this is where the client can access the guaranteed return of premium. The cash value will increase and equal the premiums paid into the policy, as I mentioned. And if I were to bring up, let me see here. I'll bring up the illustration. I always encourage agents to have some of these sample illustrations that tell a powerful story, and you can highlight some of these features and benefits. When you get to the return of premium page Looks like this is page 5. This is where you will be able to highlight for your client their target date based on their age and their premiums for that return of premium feature that's guaranteed. The amount and the target date is included right there in the illustration. So it helps to walk your client and educate them through what the solution can do for them. And when you get to the non-guaranteed values based on how the policy is projected to perform, based on the history of the S&P 500, the performance, you will find the non-guaranteed values as well. And then alternate values are based on the declared interest rate account, which is 4%. The takeaway here from this slide in this first example is we have a no-lapse premium to age 120. That's available, and you can offer that to your clients. So that's just one idea. Now, in the back of the illustration, you will find the income options that are available and the settlement option that includes that 5% income bonus. This is another competitive advantage that AmeriCorps offers. If the client chooses one of the settlement options, you have income based on guaranteed, non-guaranteed. The 5% income bonus is included as well. Now let's look at another example. This has been very popular. This example is where the client is maybe a little bit less conservative, and their objective is not so much their objective is more, they want to take income. They want to overfund a life insurance policy and not so much have the maximum face amount. We want to solve for the lowest non-MEC or modified endowment contract face amount and overfund the policy based on what the client can pay into the policy, because they want the accumulation and the performance to build, and then later down the road they will take income on a tax-efficient basis, because under current tax law, with a life insurance policy, you can take income from the policy and it's on a tax-free basis, generally speaking. So in this example, we're going to assume that we have a 45-year-old preferred non-nicotine male, and he can overfund his policy with $300 a month. And in this example, we've allocated 100% of the premium to the index account. Over here on the right-hand side at the top of the illustration, you have the interest rates that would apply. Current, how the policy is projected to perform, would be based on 6.5%. That's the historical look back, the history of the S&P 500. Worst case scenario, interest rate is 1%. So let's look at those columns. You have guaranteed values are the first set of columns, and worst case scenario, the client can access up to their target premium on a guaranteed basis at age 65 in this example. And the nice feature about LifeCrest Index, where your client, maybe their objective is income, they can pay a flexible premium. So he's paying $300 a month, not for the life of the policy, as we were in the previous example. He's paying $300 a month to age 65. There's no premiums thereafter. What we've done here is we turn on income at age 66. From 66 to age 86, he wants to supplement his retirement income and take from his life insurance policy on a tax-free basis. Generally speaking, every client's going to have their own tax situation, so we don't advise giving tax advice, and each client should seek a qualified tax consultant for their own situation. However, with this concept, how it works, it almost works like a self-completing plan. This may be a solution for maybe a business owner. They worked real hard building their business, and they put off saving for retirement. And they want to supplement their retirement with with their life insurance policy, or maybe you have a client where they're maxed out on their 401k on what they've contributed, and this is maybe another way that they can save for retirement income planning. And so in this example, we take withdrawals up to the cost basis. The cost basis in this example would be $72,000. That's what's paid into the policy. And if we start the income at age 66 to age 86, what happens here at age 75 when we've taken withdrawals up to the cost basis, then we switch to policy loans. Again, this is just taking income on a tax-free basis, and we get to this. This is based on non-guaranteed value, so you'll notice based on 6.5%, the policy's cash value is significantly higher in the middle columns. And based on, if you were to take income over a longer period, let's say to age 95, then the annual income may be less. If you're in a competitive situation and you want to show higher income, then it would be a shorter period. In this example, we have income from 66 to age 86. We're taking partial withdrawals up to the cost basis and then switch to policy loans. When we get to the next page, up to age 86, what you'll notice over here on the right-hand side is the policy stays in force, unlike with one of the settlement options. If you choose a settlement option, the policy would no longer be in force. There's no more death benefit. This is a different concept where there is a death benefit that will be decreasing based on the amount of money that's taken from the policy. So depending on the client's needs and their objectives, let's say, for example, you start taking income, and if the insured were to pass away during this period, the named beneficiary would still have the option to receive the remaining death benefit over here. So it almost works like a self-completing plan. Now you get to the back pages of the illustration. This is where you can find the income option. So this is going to look a little bit different than that first example that we were looking at. Income based on non-guaranteed cash value is significantly higher on a monthly basis. You can compare the 20-year period certain, for example, on a monthly basis. This includes that 5% income bonus. So this is a guaranteed basis where they can take a settlement option as well. So there's a lot of choices and flexible options with LifeCrest Index. To request an illustration, simply reach out to your sales support team here at AmeriCo, or if you have any questions on how to access Sales Connection, that's AmeriCo's illustration and quoting system, give us a call. That's what we're here for. You can quickly access Sales Connection at www.americo.com. Quotes are always up to date and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week as needed. And before we go into those underwriting tips, let me just bring up Sales Connection. And to give you an idea, this is the dashboard for Sales Connection. If I click on New Illustration, I'll share with you how you can quickly illustrate. Go back here. Okay, so I'm going to click on New Illustration, and then once you enter the state where you're doing business, and the age of your client, for example, it's a great idea to run those sample illustrations and then maybe run at 5 years older at maybe a standard risk class so you can show the cost of waiting as well That's been helpful for your clients that may be on the fence to buy. So I click on the product LifeCrest Index and click on Create. And we're going to focus on policy case design for this example. I'm going to share example number 2 because that was a little bit more complex to run. We'll choose underwriting option. We'll choose preferred non-nicotine in this example, death benefit. If your client's objective is income, and we want to solve for the lowest non-MEC or modified endowment contract, we will choose based on non-MEC for the death benefit. Premiums, we're going to customize the premiums. Instead of solving for the lowest premium, we're going to ask the client how much can they fund the policy. How much do they want to accumulate to take income later down the road. So it works great for clients that may be put off for saving for retirement, or business owners, or someone that's maybe maxed out on their 401k, for example. And we'll specify $300 a month in this example. From issue age, this provides the flexible option. You can pay premiums up to, let's say, age 65, for example, and then no premiums thereafter. When I click on rates, I mentioned at the beginning of the training that unless you click on rates and change how the crediting for the premium is allocated to the declared account, it's 50% to the declared account as the default rate and 50% to the index account. So if you want 0 going to the index account, you need to change this to 0. In this example, I want to change 100% of that premium, $300 a month, going into the index account, because this client's objective is he's less conservative and he wants to overfund the policy. Withdrawals and loans, we're going to add a custom withdrawal, and we're going to solve for the income. Now, it's important for this concept or this strategy for the policy to stay in force. This is where the client doesn't want to surrender, is not going to let the policy lapse, because we don't want to create any type of a taxable situation, because if they receive more out of the policy than what they paid in, there could be a taxable situation. So in order to ensure that the policy stay in force to age 100, depending on this client's life expectancy, we'll say we want it to stay in force to age 100. And we're going to enter $100. That's what we want in cash value at age 100. So this is what ensures that the policy stays in force to age 100 by entering a target amount and the age here. And then click on OK. And for distribution type, you have several choices. You can choose withdrawal loans, basis switch, loans 1 through 15, for example. I suggest basis switch because this will take the income out up to the cost basis and then switch to loans. It may help with the performance versus if you were to take loans from the beginning, from age 66 to 86, you'll notice that the cash values may not be as strong. So I'm going to choose basis switch, age to start that income. If we start at age 66, this is just how our previous example looked. The longer you wait, it's sort of like baking a cake. You let it rise. So if I were to wait till age 70, from 70 to age 86 is going to show higher annual income, typically. So you can keep that in mind, depending on your client's needs and objectives. So we have all the criteria that we need in for the illustration, and then I'm going to click on Illustrations and Forms, and then, okay, I forgot to do something here. Go back here. Age 66, change this to age 86. That's the nice feature about Sales Connection. It prompts you if not entered something correctly. Typically, it doesn't take this long, but I do encourage you to run those sample illustrations or requests from your sales support team, and then consider running an illustration for your client that's 5 years older, maybe at a standard risk class, to show the cost of waiting. So in this example, okay, here's our document. So here you have all of the features and benefits, the no-lapse guarantee that's included, that you can walk through your client, the return of premium feature, the accelerated benefit payment rider, and premiums $300 a month to age 65, then we turn on the income from age 66 to 86 in this example. And so this is the column based on current interest rates, how the policy is projected to perform. And if you have any questions that come up along the way, feel free to give us a call. We look forward to the opportunity to support your business. When you get back to the, here's the page that has those settlement options that include that 5% income bonus. You definitely don't want to miss those features and benefits. So I know we've covered a lot of information. Some underwriting tips that you need to know. Once you take a look at that application packet, this may prompt some additional questions you have. Keep in mind, if your client answers yes to any of those medical questions on the LifeCrest Index application, please provide details for those yes answers. Make sure that you include all medications that your client's currently taking, and include their birth date and signature. Our pre-approved paramed companies, this contact information is in your agent guide. So if you have those nice case opportunities that are above $250,000, keep in mind that saliva, agent-collected saliva is required at the point of sale. You don't want to miss those opportunities. It only takes maybe 10 minutes to become certified. All of this information is in your agent guide. We can ship those kits to you so that you'll be ready. We're excited for you to get started. You'll find the underwriting requirements for standard risk class are in the agent guide. And the good news is, once again, we've made this easier at the point of sale, non-medical up to $250,000. Keep in mind that if you have clients that are a little bit healthier than average and you're going to offer that preferred risk class, that's an awesome opportunity. The minimum face amount is $100,000. And to summarize what we covered today, non-medical increased to $250,000. LifeCrest Index, one of those competitive advantages to help you increase your sales is the fact that it's very simple for your clients to track and understand. There's only one indexed account, one declared account, and one sweep date, December 31st. And this is an opportunity to offer permanent insurance for your clients that seek that important life coverage that they need with that no-lapse guarantee to age 120, and offer that return of premium feature as well. It's been very popular. And the great news is 100% of the premium for LifeCrest Index will count towards the You First Rewards bonus qualifications. So this is an opportunity for you to increase your sales and your earnings as well. We hope this training has been helpful for you, and we just want to bring up that phone number one more time. We look forward to hearing your success stories and the opportunity to support that business. Give us a call here at Americo at 800-231-0801. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.